right, so good to go. It's Wednesday, April 3rd. I'm Greg Schumbacher. I'm sitting in for David Nightingale here. We had some excused absence today. And we're gonna call this meeting to order, or we'll take a roll call, I'm sorry, first, right? And so, I want to start in the room here. I've heard Amy on the other. Hi, Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Harding. I'm with Port of Olympia, and I understand we haven't been super involved, so I'm excited to dig in.
Awesome.
Continue around the table in that direction.
Sure. I'm Amanda Romero. I'm the Senior Program Manager for Solid Waste here at Public Works.
I'm Laura Glover. I'm the solid waste planner.
I'm Hope Springer. I'm a recycling waste reduction specialist at Solid Waste.
I'm Jessica Kelly. I'm a senior office assistant.
And again, Greg Schumbacher, agriculture representative. Then how do you want to do it online?
I'll
You
call
want
out
to-
names and
Okay, yeah.
we'll just.
It's
go
always
from there.
confusing. It bounces around, so if you do that, that'd be great.
So David is excused. Greg, you're here. Gary Edwards is excused. Amy, Lisa Parsley. Nicholas Dunning,
Yeah, I'm here, Nick Dunning, City of Lacey.
Joan Cathy. Trevor Palmer. Elaine Clam,
Here.
Kirsten Presley,
Good morning, I'm available.
Richard Moon is excused. Renee Sinclair is excused. Chad Sutter. And Aaron Robertson.
Yeah, I'm here.
And Christina Colbert.
Here.
Perfect. I don't believe we have a quorum, but I think we can still continue.
All right, so no quorum today.
We can introduce staff and guests.
Yeah, sure,
if you'd
yeah.
like.
We'll just call the meeting in order, I guess, right? Yeah, so when we start with staff and then we'll do guest last.
Yeah, if you scroll up for me on the list here, I see on the list we have Jennifer Walker here.
Good morning, everyone.
And then who else?
Oh, I'll clarify. I'm the Public Works Director for Thurston County.
I see Marika Majors here.
Hello, everyone. I'm one of the Scale House leads.
I see Rob Putner is here.
Good morning. I'm a recycling and waste reduction specialist with Thurston County Public Works.
We have Scott Keith.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Keith. I'm the Communication Outreach Supervisor for Public Works.
And that's it for
And those are all of, and I think we might have a person here from Public Health. Kylie, are you here from Public Health?
Yes, I am with the Public Health Health Education team.
Awesome. And then if I could have guests hop in and say hello. I see Ron Jones on the list.
Ron Jones, City of Olympia Solid Waste.
Thank you.
Steve Gilmore, Republic Services.
Awesome. And then we have Kevin Jensen here who will be presenting for us.
Yeah, good morning. Kevin Jensen. I'm the Agriculture Program Manager housed in CPED for Thurston County. So I guess I'm staff as well.
And Tom Rupert.
Good morning. Yeah, Tom Rupert, District Manager with Pacific Disposal.
And we got did I miss anyone? Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy with HDR.
Great. That list kind of jumps around. So if I missed anyone, I apologize and please introduce yourself.
All right, so yeah, if we miss anybody, just jump out there and let us know. So we don't have approval of minutes or agenda without a quorum today. So we'll move on to public comments. Does anybody have any public comments they'd like to address? Any public comments? All right, not hearing any, we'll move on to I don't think old business. Is there any old business that anybody know? I don't think we do that. So the new business, we just have some presentations that I think we'll just get started with. Are we going in order on this?
I don't believe so, because I did not see
Travis
Travis.
isn't here yet, so, Kevin, would you, you're second on the list there, would you be able to be our lead today?
Sure. So are you guys gonna pull the PowerPoint up and then I'll just holler next, or you want me to share, or?
Yeah, I can pull it up. Let's see. Let's do. All right. Oh. I'll make this bigger. So it's, let's see.
Yeah, that's what they see on their end.
Can you guys see on your end?
I can see what's on the screen.
How good is it?
Switch it to the presenter view, I think.
Okay, so hide presenter view, so click on the three dots again. There, and then you go to hide presenter view, and it should, oh. Let's see, if you go to slideshow at the top.
Right here.
The button there, and then from the name. And I think you just need to expand the button. There you go. Try again. Couple technical difficulties, but we're working our way through it.
Are you ready?
Looks like, I think that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think that this is just the best that we can do on our end, unless you would like to.
So click resume. Just
Sorry, guys. Yep, this is what I can do.
You can edit it next time.
Are you okay with it showing like this, or would you like to try on your end?
I could try on my end.
Okay, let's try that and see if maybe it works better.
Okay. This thing out of my way here. There. How's that?
Much better. That's beautiful.
So again, my name's Kevin Jensen. I'm the agriculture program manager. I've been in the saddle for about three to 4 months now, so pretty new. Still trying to figure out my role, and as they say, drinking from the fire hose. So I've worked in. I came from. I worked for the Washington State Department of Agriculture for about a decade, and then I'm also a lifetime cattle rancher in South Thurston County. So I was requested by solid waste folks to talk about slaughter waste, offal, however you want to classify that. So that's kind of what I'm going to tap into today. You know, from the ranch side of it, I'm pretty involved with it. There's a lot of issues that I would like to see fixed, and so I've been kind of dabbling in that a bit. So, you know, what is slaughter waste? Well, it kind of depends on which culture you're a part of. I personally feel that I'm pretty wasteful because, you know, when I slaughter like a beef animal, for example, I'm just, you know, taking the main carcass meat, and then everything else is what would be considered a waste stream. So all the innards, intestines, stomachs, head, feet, hide, all that kind of is generated as a waste. But again, different cultures utilize those products for other things, whether food, clothing, and things like that. So, but here generally in this area, in this region, that is typically waste. So, you know, there's on one beef cow, there's several hundred pounds of waste. So blood, head, hides, feet, and then all the cavity contents. So when I'm talking about slaughter waste and offal, that's basically what I'm referring to, and mainly in livestock. So where does it go? Well, it's pretty interesting. So the landfill, sometimes we'll take it, sometimes they restrict it. If an on-farm slaughter truck rolls up to the landfill, it's not very good public perception when they start dumping 55-gallon buckets of heads and blood and guts and hides out. So there tends to be issues there. So rendering plant is, would be the most common place for this to go. But I'll talk about that and some of the issues with rendering. People throw it out in the backyard, leave it for the wildlife to eat. There's always cases being dumped on public lands. There was one recently in Capitol Forest. There were several truckloads of offal dumped there. Folks bury it, which historically has been done for a long time. But again, that could cause issues because in a lot of our ag land, there's critical areas. So if people are down next to the river, with an excavator digging, it's not a good thing either. So, and then compost piles. So again, landfill rendering plant, it's expensive, is the main issue here. And so recently, the Tacoma rendering plant in the Port of Tacoma, part of it burned down or had a fire. So this area is having to send some of the offal from this area out further, costing more. And then the landfills like, Thurston counties or Lewis counties, they may allow some of it. As far as I know, they're restricting like the big trucks and stuff. So issues with leaving it out in the backyard. I mean, I think we can all kind of attest to what some of the issues with that are. If there's a big pile of stomach contents out there, predator issues, odor issues, can't dump on public lands, obviously it's illegal. Again, critical sensitive areas when it's being buried. And then, there's the average size farm in Thurston County, I think is 7 acres. So there's a lot of small farms, so they may not even have the space to bury animals. So composting is really the direction that all this needs to head to. And so that's kind of what we're going to focus on today. So really there needs to be some kind of a regional composting system set up to handle this waste stream. So, that's where I'm kind of focusing my time and working with Mike Poteet with Pierce County, who's basically in the same role that I am for Pierce County. So him and I have been having quite a bit of discussion about how do we regionally set up something to handle this waste stream so that, it's not just going in a landfill. It's not being trucked, several hundred miles to a rendering plant, either to Longview or Seattle. Most of the material, especially the stomach contents, as you guys know with your expert in-house there, Mr. Schoenbachler, this stuff composts easy. The hides and the bones and stuff take a little bit more, but like a lot of it composts really super easy. So there is currently some on-farm composting happening. I've been playing around with it, but I'm no expert by any means, and I'm still learning. So it's a big area that I think we can have a lot of influence on. So Mike Poteet in Pierce County put together a regional survey basically to go out to farms and ranches within the last year or two. So this is just he sent me some information that he pulled out of that survey. So I'll just kind of read through this. So the biggest issue with waste management, LeMay takes a dumpster load. I need to move this over 3 days a week from their site in Eatonville. So this is probably a butcher shop in Eatonville. with innards being sacked up. Can only legally hold off-haul for 72 hours. So necessitating 3 pickups a week. So the state, probably food safety, is regulating this facility so that they can't hold it more than a certain amount of time, so 72 hours, probably with smell and rot and everything else. So they're having to pay 3 times a week to have the rendering, which it's expensive. Rendering is very expensive. So more from the respondents. So the rendering facility burned down November 22. So that's referencing the Tacoma facility. So this person said it when it was going to Tacoma, it was about $1,500 a load. Now they're paying upwards of $9,000 per load to dump at Lewis County landfill. So this is 2023. And then as of about a year ago, Lewis County landfill cut them off. So this was the on-farm slaughter trucks that were going in there. So again, public perception for what, I'm sure there's a lot of other reasons. I don't really know that side of it, but in my eyes, it's probably public perception when the truck rolls up. But at any rate, so Lewis County cut them off. So now they're having to haul to Cowlitz County, or they're having to haul to rendering plants a long ways away. So, I kind of what this boils down to is just this huge cost. So these were some of the snips out of mobile slaughter feedback from this survey. So respondents reported having lost access to rendering. I'm not going to go through and read all these, but there's a lot of issues reported. Their local dump transfer station had cut them off, so no longer accepting this waste stream. As the outlets to get rid of this diminish, that only drives the cost up for the on-farm slaughter trucks, which then just pass it on to the farmers. So ultimately the farmers are bearing a lot of this extra costs. And if we want to have a local food supply from here in Thurston County, these are some of the things that we as government need to evaluate and try to figure out solutions for to reduce this extra cost burden. So some of you are probably familiar with the Silver Springs composting operation. So the Thurston Conservation District, myself, and we kind of had a powwow recently, and just trying to look at different ways that we can creatively come up with solutions for this waste stream and composting. So there's been some discussion about a pilot project. And so now it's really chasing funding to follow through with that. I've reached out to WashDOT, the regional folks. I've reached out to the folks with Thurston County Public Works as well. The reason I reached out to them is roadkill, right? So roadkill is also another waste stream that fits right into this equation, and there's a lot of roadkill. So I see this as a way that that waste stream could also kind of go right in with the livestock slaughter waste into some type of regional composting facility. So that we're not just dumping stuff out in the woods or whatever the municipalities are doing with it right now. Again, regionally with Pierce County, I haven't connected with Lewis County yet, but I'm sure they would be open as well. Everyone I talk to is open to the concept. It's just trying to, nail down something that we can start with, like some type of a pilot, and then build it from there. So the Washington State Department of Ag has an off-all, slaughter waste group. So I became, a partner in that. So I'm trying to learn from that on more of the state level, what's going on with slaughter waste. So hoping to get some information out of that. So my future goals with this would be to secure some type of grant funding stream, so we can initiate some type of pilot project to get something going, so that we can we need to show that, yeah, we can take we can take slaughter waste, we can take like, you know, maybe some whole animal waste, we can take the roadkill deer and elk waste, and we can in a green fashion, we can compost that. You know, we can have it composting in a regional facility. We don't have to truck it all over the place, and basically turn it back into a material, you know, that can be used on garden beds and whatnot. You know, I foresee a system that could build so that these on-farm slaughter trucks, which they're the heart of our meat food system in the county, you know, a way that they can pull in quickly, offload into this compost type facility, and then keep going. And it's in a regional area where, you know, where they're working anyway, so they can get in, they can dump, and they can go. And then again, you know, the system could also accept roadkill. Whole animal, you know, horse, cattle, these are big animals. And there's a lot of them in the county. And so, you know, they're all going to die at some point. And so, you know, having a system in place to manage the death of those animals. So that's pretty much it. So I'll stop sharing. Just kind of an overview of a little bit of what I've been working on with this particular situation.
Kevin? Did you take some questions, Kevin?
Yeah, ask away.
Go ahead, Amy.
I was just curious, like, how many acres would you need for this pilot project? How big of a site? And could you talk a little bit more about what the site would need? Would it need power? Would it need a building? Would it need?
So it wouldn't take a huge amount of acres. So there's different systems, like an encapsulated system that you can just drop a load into basically, and then it closes up, and then it does its compost thing for a little while. You know, this wouldn't be like a 40-acre field where we're just coming and dumping stuff. It would be a super controlled, small pilot project to maybe accept like one slaughter truck load a week or something, because we need the data first. Like, if we put 100 pounds of this particular waste in, you know, how long does it take to compost? What material needs to mix in with it to compost, you know, and all that. So really, the pilot, as far as the space for a pilot project, would be super small. And yeah, we would need power and whatnot. So, you know,
Would it be in an industrial area or an agricultural area? I'm trying to visualize just actual execution.
Well, facility that's situated with composting currently would be ideal because that's what they do. So that's why there's been discussion with that. But I mean, you know, I would say most of the animals are in South County. So, you know, regionally South County, and then North Lewis County, and then, you know, maybe something on the north end of the county for Pierce County too. I don't really know what all that would look like. This is super early. Like, this more or less came out of a brain fart of mine I had just a few months ago. And so I'm just kind of, you know, poking and prodding and talking to folks and trying to visualize how something would work. The needs there, you know, the issues are there. Just trying to put that together into something that we can make work.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm trying to visualize with you. So
yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
Can I just add to that, Kevin, that you know, composting was arguably, you know, created by farm products. You know, farm composting and even farm mortality composting is age old, and it's the best practice for animal mortalities. The challenges with what Kevin's talking about doing is small volumes that are spread all throughout a large geographic area. When you have consolidated volumes, it's much easier to deal with. So there's lots of places in the country and in the state that do large scale mortality composting of farm animals. You know, there's feedlots in Eastern Washington that have 50 80,000 head of cattle. There's dairies that have that. They may lose 2 to 5% of cattle annually. That's a lot of, mortalities to deal with. And they have, many, many acres of what we would call, in the composting industry, a relatively basic system to deal with it, but it's effective and it works. And what type of system you use really depends on your environment. And here in Western Washington, it's a wetter environment, it's a little more challenging. And so, we tend to use higher tech systems here than you might see in other parts of the state or the country. And so, the biggest problem with getting something like this going is the ability to cost effectively consolidate the masses. Because it takes a critical mass in order to economically compost any type of material. But I think Kevin's definitely on the right track. It's a tried and true method of dealing with this kind of waste. And so there's no question that it's not the right thing to do, or it is the right thing to do. But just how do you kind of get all those pieces of the puzzle together and to make it something that actually works in our environment here. So my hat's off to Kevin for trying. This is a big problem and it needs a solution. Yeah. Thanks for doing that, Kevin. Thanks for.
I think Stephen Gilmore has a question.
Okay, Steve, you got it.
Yeah, so we have a anaerobic digester that we just recently acquired in California, and I know that they take a lot of animal or carcass waste as well at that anaerobic digester. So, with the sewer facilities that we have around here, maybe there's a way that we can utilize existing infrastructure to actually get rid of the waste stream, since it is a relatively small amount, like Greg mentioned. Just a thought.
Great thought.
Good thought.
Anybody else have questions for Kevin on the presentation? All right. Well, we'll move on to the next. Thanks, Kevin, for doing that.
Sure.
We'll move on to the next presentation. We'd be on manager report, right? We're still hanging out for the post-presentation session.
Yeah, unless Travis has arrived, is he in the, no, okay. And so Jeff Bickford, the solid waste manager, is out this week, and he doesn't have any manager items to share. I checked in with him before he left, so I guess we have a really short meeting without a quorum, so.
I guess so, yeah. Come here, do we? Yeah. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to bring up online there, or?
I'm incredibly new to the party, but there's been some discussion between Port of Olympia and City of Tumwater informally about paint recycling center. So I just wanted to throw that out there so that if that ever fits with something that's going on in this group, we can have further discussion about it. So
yeah.
I don't even know what all this group does, so. But that was a conversation that I was like, maybe this would be relevant. I don't know.
Absolutely relevant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's been the topic of discussion in the past.
Okay, so citing it and collaborating with whoever needed to be a part of that. And then also some hazardous waste conversation that just started that I don't have enough information to comment on, but.
Yeah, good. Take all things we can talk about.
Are there other things that the Port of Olympia could be doing that they aren't, or ways that we could plug in that?
Off the top of my head, I don't have an answer prepared, but that's definitely something that we could discuss further, especially when the solid waste manager is back.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. All right, well, nobody has anything else. We can just call the meeting adjourned.
Easy peasy.
Make it about the shortest one in the world. Perfect one for me to fill in on.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
again.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you filled in this chair and it was like.
30-minute meeting.